Two House Democrats are determined to show that they know little about tech. Class action suit alleges that Apple deliberately disabled chargers for the oh-so-lucrative Apple charger market. Apple gives $571 million to France to be quiet. And AT&T is first out of the gate with 5G. Oh, wait, no, they're not. That's all tonight on the Mac to the Future livecast. Everybody, how you doing tonight? I am Guy Searle, one of the hosts of the Mac to the Future livecast, and I am joined tonight by the what was it that Mad Magazine used to call their group of people? David, do you remember?
No, I don't. Hi, everybody.
I'm thinking it was like the Usual Gang of Idiots or something like that. That's what Mad Magazine used to call.
I just remember the fold, the back page fold.
Oh, okay. For a moment, I thought you were talking about a different magazine that had a fold out.
No, not that one.
The centerfold.
No, not that one. Okay. I had a subscription to one, but I'm not going to say which one it is. Warren, whoops! Stop that! I meant to hit this. There he is. Warren, how are you this evening, sir?
I remember Spy versus Spy.
Oh, and Dave Ginsburg had the lighter side of whatever.
The lighter side. No,
the lighter side.
Yeah,
that's what they used to. Yeah, from
yeah. They had Spy versus Spy. They had
Spy versus Spy.
The back
movie and TV show. What would you call that? With the takeoffs.
Mad TV
movies and. No.
They had Mad TV.
They would take like a TV show or a movie.
The cover was always a parody. Yeah.
No. They used to do parodies of movies and TV shows for like a 5 to 10 page spread. I remember when they did the one for Batman when I was just a wee lad. Well, anyway, we have other things to talk about this evening. For one, and I know this has been on everyone's mind since last week. Yes, the cabinet is fixed. So it's back up. I've gotten rid of some of the crap. You can actually see the table. Huh? No. It would be the other way around. She'd be getting rid of me. And I wanted to try one other thing here. If you guys can see that. This is something new that's in Mimo, and I don't know if I have it configured properly, but you should be able to hit one of the likes, hearts, cries, mads, whatever there is to your heart's content, and it should show a running total right there. Now, the other thing that I would really love for this to work, and it doesn't, is your comments, so that I could keep an eye on your comments as everything else is going on. Now, I think you're a
little confused now.
I am a little confused.
I just have to I have to correct you just on one thing.
Sure.
You're not voting for you on Facebook. You ask something and then you say, click this for that, click that for that, click that for that.
Right.
So it's like a poll thing. So basically you'll say, if Apple is doomed, click the thumbs up. If Apple is not doomed, click the heart. If Apple, we don't care, click the, that's how it goes. And then you tally up those results. Right now, you just, it's nothing. Carry on.
Sure. But I'm going to hit something. I don't know if it's going to work. I tried this earlier by myself.
Let me try it. Wait. There's no.
And
buttons
I saw something come up on the
below.
but I'm not seeing a count. So I guess I probably still don't have it. Still don't have it figured.
Wait.
Stuff is happening on the screen in Facebook.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah,
not
because I'm liking and commenting.
The tally's not working.
But it's not doing anything.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is turn it off since it's not working.
It's awesome.
It's just a distraction. We'll try it again another time. Yeah.
It's awesome.
So we have nice. We have four. Where am I going? We have 4 things to talk about this evening. And I don't know if people realize this, but I've kind of stopped doing the ads there in the middle of the show because I think it was mostly just a distraction. Buy Ed's book, that was one of them. Buy my book, that was another one. And check out the mymac.com podcast. Yeah, buy Warren's book.
Not one I wrote, it's one that's in my office that's sitting there. I think trying to get rid of.
Yeah, just break into Warren's house
and take his
my
book. Whatever book you want.
Yeah, but you'll have to go all the way to Guatemala for it. So, it's not going to be easy. All right, first story of the evening, and I managed to remember to do it this time. Politicians that understand tech. This is a story from Routers. 2 House Democrats, House Energy and Commerce Chairman Frank Pallone and Representative Jan Schakowsky, who chairs a subcommittee overseeing consumer issues, said in a letter that they were deeply troubled over how long it took Apple to address the security flaw, which at the time of the recording of the show, it hasn't been addressed. It's just turned off. They want to know when Apple first learned of the issue, the extent to which the flaw may have compromised consumers' privacy, and if there are any other undisclosed bugs that currently exist and have not been addressed, which is that statement by itself makes my mind explode. Apple responded to the original issue by saying, "We want to assure our customers that as soon as our engineering team became aware of the details necessary to reproduce the bug, they quickly disabled group FaceTime and began to work on the fix." So this is, again, the people that we elect to be our representatives who are, well, most of us. Various people who are weighing in on issues that they really don't know anything about. Not unlike the mymac.com podcast every week. But we, at least, the stuff that we do at MyMac isn't going to hurt many people. But this is, when politicians weigh in on things related to technology, I really have to wonder at what point do they realize that what they're saying doesn't make any sense? What do you think, Dave?
It makes absolutely no sense. They have no clue what the hell they're talking about. This was an unfortunate incident. That's the way it is. Any company would have done it would have dealt with the same problem. They would have had to just turn it off and work on it. It's not like Apple just all of a sudden, oh look, we created a bug. It happens. These politicians think they know everything about technology. I mean, you look at what happened with Facebook. You look at what happened with other technology companies and asking dumb questions. So I mean, it just goes into that hopper of the dumb questions. Why is this happening? Why did this? You should have told us sooner. I mean, just like anything, there's bugs. I mean, they have to go out and then you get people like who discovered this and they reported it. And yeah, unfortunately, Apple probably should have reacted a little quicker, but that was, they apologized and now they're working on it. I mean, I don't know what else I could say other than it's, typical politicians.
Well, in my mind, the thing that Apple said here was as soon as they became aware of the details and were able to reproduce the bug, they quickly disabled group FaceTime and began to work on the fix. Now, there's always bugs in nearly any software that people put out. There is no such thing as a finished product. It doesn't exist. So, you know, for them to be able to disclose unknown bugs, what? How, if they don't know it's a bug, how are they supposed to disclose it? What do you think, Warren?
Right. Disclose it.
I mean, I get why they're asking. You know, they're trying to protect the consumer, but it's not really their business unless we make it their business. And what I mean by that is, if they're going to do that to Apple, they got to do that to every company, because every company that, as you said, that puts out you know, something is always going to have bugs, and we are walking around with microphones and cameras in our pocket constantly, and this is going to be one of the things that's going to happen. So they don't really have the authority to question Apple. They might, maybe if there was some kind of criminal investigation, if it was done intentionally, and maybe they wanted to look into that. But this was a bug, and unless they go after every company that has bugs that, you know, could cause an issue with privacy, then they're barking up the wrong territory. That's my thought.
Okay, so really, this, when you look at some of the past behavior of the House, the legislative body known as the House, they had, you know, Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook, and they've had various people from Google there to talk about privacy issues, and the difference between what Google and Facebook were doing and what Apple does is that in Apple's case, this was a bug. In Facebook and Google's case, it was done intentionally because that's their business model. So, you know, why are people, other than to get their name in the papers, why are people that are wasting their time in trying to call out Tim Cook or the other high muckamucks over at Apple over something that they will fix, and, you know, we'll all just kind of move on from there. So and the Facebook thing. Hello, Frank, and hello, Ronnie. Thanks for being here tonight.
The Facebook thing with the what was the research house that got the data? That was a little more than a bug, I guess. That was more of an intentional result of something that Facebook gave access to. Is that bordering more on criminal intent? Does the government have more of a right to figure out what happened there? Maybe. The Google thing was nothing. They were just kind of asking them questions of the business practice. And again, the bug is something that they're not, that was not intentional. I feel that if it was something with malice, if one of these companies, large companies, Apple, Facebook, Google, you know, 2 years from now, we find Amazon. 2 years from now or a year from now, we find out that one of these large companies are really doing something really bad that we don't know about. That's going to be a criminal investigation, I think, and that would involve, you know, the government, because it's part of the court system. But as of now, you know, I think right now they're just on a fact-finding mission for the people, and as you said, they don't really understand technology. If you look how their age is, that's probably part of it. But they, you know, I think it's unfair for what they're doing with Apple, because again, it's a bug. It wasn't intentional. There was no malice, and it just happens all the time. It will get fixed.
Okay. Apparently, lawyers want a lot of money from Apple. This is a story that was in Mac Rumors. There's a complaint by a California resident, Monica Emerson, and she alleges that she bought an iPhone 7 in September of 2016 and charged the device with Apple's power adapter included in the box without issue until around October 2017, when it stopped working along with the alert, this accessory may not be supported. There's a lot of holes in her story because there's nothing that's being stipulated whether she used Apple's supplied Lightning to USB cable that comes with the phone, or if there was any other third-party equipment that was being used. Apple has a built for iPhone, built for iPad, built for iOS program, and they include the specifications for these companies, and they have to follow these specifications in order to have the official seal of approval of Apple for their particular peripherals. So if you're using something that isn't part of that program, then yeah, it may not work. Warren, what's your thoughts on that?
Yes, it's definitely a stupid lawsuit. There's, as far as a lawsuit goes, it's even if it was not my MiFi, M-Fi, whatever certified cable that she was using, and that error message comes up. The error message says it may not be supported, and it's literally there just to, as a warning, and it's for your own protection. With that said, I've used plenty of non-Apple cables and bricks, and everybody, if you go on the internet, they're like, yeah, if you plug in your phone with a third-party cable from the gas station, your phone will explode. It doesn't happen like that. The cable breaks. That's every time is what it is.
Right.
The phone, I mean, there's like the two cases in the world if you hear of an iPhone, blowing up possibly, and both times seem very shady during the circumstances. So it's not going to damage your phone. I've used plenty of cables, and I just want to show you guys something. I was on Facebook the other day, and Facebook said, "You look like a guy who likes bracelets, and you would like a bracelet that also is a USB cable as well." I said, "Yeah, that is me." So I just got this today. It's a bracelet that's also a Lightning cable with a USB plug on the end, and it's awesome. Is it certified? I don't care. But it works, and I plugged it in and it works.
Now, see, I want to have that same cable, but I want it to wrap around my neck.
You would have to have actually, I bet you could tether a bunch of these together.
I'll work on my wrist.
All right, David, what do you think?
Same thing. I think these the cables are certified. If they're not certified, they work. I mean, I've been in the same boat. I've used both cables. I try to stay with certified cables whenever possible, and most of the time I would buy Apple branded ones just to be safe. But I think this story is crazy. I mean, it's a frivolous lawsuit, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that this was filed in California and not East Texas, because that seems to be where most of these frivolous lawsuits come from. Okay, next up, that will buy a lot of croissants. This is a story in TechCrunch. While still not admitting any wrongdoing, Apple is paying France roughly 500 million euros, about 571 million US dollars, to settle a dispute over back taxes. France and many other European countries want to start charging taxes based on retail sales in the individual countries instead of the tax deferred rates that most multinationals use to maximize profits. This story just seems to go on and on and on. There's a large escrow account that Apple set up using a lot of the money that they had in their own, private little Idaho there in Ireland, and I think it's got something like $13 to $14 billion in it to pay off whatever fines come up based on the EU's findings of whether or not Apple is dodging tax. So I don't know. I have always kind of alleged that Apple pays their fair share of taxes, but based on, I'm trying to remember what it's called, the double Dutch, Irish Dutch, or something like that. There's some term for it, for what a lot of these companies are doing, and it's also how Apple delays paying U.S. taxes on profits that are generated outside of the United States. So I don't know. Is this going to be kind of the end for these multinationals to get out of paying tax based on retail sales? It sounds like if the EU does this, you can pretty much guarantee that this is going to go off elsewhere around the world. And what do you guys think will be the overall consequences of this? I mean, higher prices, Dave?
Yeah, it could be higher prices. You're also thinking about each country is different in their laws. I mean, for years, Apple was deferring a lot of their money into Irish banks and not having to pay tax on a lot of it. And then that loophole's gone. These companies are going to have to start paying up their fair share of taxes in Europe. I mean, you can't defer it, but hard to say how it'll affect the bottom line. But it's just like any country. You gotta do business when you're doing business in that country. You gotta pay your fair share of taxes.
Warren?
Yeah, I mean, they have smart accountants, and they're going to know what the best way to go in each country. My only thought is Apple is going to cater as a global country. They're going to cater as best they can to every country they operate in, and it's going to come down, with how they sell it, how they share data. There was just a story yesterday or the other day about them having to store some stuff on a Russian server because Russia won't sell their phones without it. It's going to happen.
Well, the same thing is going on in China as well.
Well, that happened. Right. That already happened, and now it's going to happen in Russia. And it doesn't sound great, but if Apple wants to play the global market, they have to play the global games. And if they want to, hop out of the market, they can, but they don't want to.
Yeah, Apple has any company has very little choice when it comes down to obeying the laws of the host countries in which they sell their products. There's really no choice. And this kind of lends credence to the rumors that the Lightning port on the next round of iOS devices will probably go away in favor of USB-C, which is more of a universal port than Lightning ever was. Because I know that there was a lot of issues just as late as last year over European countries being upset because Apple wasn't using micro or mini USB, which all the other Android phones were using, in favor of their own connector.
The joke is going to be by the time they go to USB-C, something else is going to be out because Apple's just slow and changing with that. And it's probably going to happen. I'm sure the next generation of cable by the time they get around to it. And anyways.
Well, I mean, USB-C / Thunderbolt. And that right there kind of bothers me that we have the same kind of connector for two very different protocols. It just seems like it's, you get the wrong thing and then the wrong thing happens. You're looking for a Thunderbolt peripheral and then you accidentally get something that's USB-C only, but it's the same connector.
I don't think USB-C is quite taken off the way Apple wants it.
Well, it's not Apple's connector. That's an Intel standard.
It's not. Yeah, but Apple pushed it first. I mean, they did the
same thing with original USB.
Right. Apple was the first laptop to come out that was only USB-C. USB-C. And yeah, so they pushed it. They were pushing it. And there are hundreds and thousands of USB-C devices. It's not that it's not available. You could get almost anything USB-C at this point. But it's going to take years and years to flush out all the other devices that are still out there until they break and go away. So,
and that all these other companies will start using that same standard. The problem is that the USB A cable or A connector is so in use everywhere that it's going to be kind of a hard one to push off to the side. That's
what I'm saying. Until those devices break and they need to be replaced, they're going to be out there. You're going to have, it's going to take years and years. Very few people are going to buy except for me, of course, but very few people are going to buy a USB-C.
You just buy everything.
Because I don't want USB-A in my house. That's dirty and yucky. But most people who aren't me are not going to replace their USB-A devices until they have to, right? Because it does seem silly. I mean, and the reason why it's silly is because it's not like we're going from like HD to 4K. It's literally a USB 3, a USB-A hard drive does the exact same thing as a USB-C connected hard drive, and that's the problem. There's no
speed improvement. There's no
improvement of the product. Yeah, so you're not getting any. There's no benefit to trade it in. Whereas some other devices, okay, maybe you trade in this for a better looking monitor, a better looking TV, or a faster device. Thunderbolt 3 is different, but USB-C is just a physical pin change to most people. And as I said, you're not getting anything different, and that's true for hard drives. That's true for like printer connections or whatever connects to USB. It's all the same. So that's the problem. That's why it's going to be slow.
All right. Well, this show is going much faster than I thought it was going to tonight.
Good, because we also have singers coming up.
All right. Well, we've got one more story, and then we're all done. 5G is fast, but that's not what AT&T has. So this is a story from Ars Technica. AT&T is rolling out their new old 5Geeeee network, which is roughly twice as fast as their older 4G network, but it still isn't 5G. It's a derivative of the original 4G, which, yes, it is faster, but it's more evolutionary than revolutionary. Many critics are saying it's a marketing move by AT&T, which it kind of is, and that others are trying to capitalize on the brand awareness of 5G, which probably won't be available until 2020 at the earliest, and does promise truly high-speed connectivity that might not matter if you have data caps. The sad part is that because Apple displays the kind of network its mobile devices are connected to, some might be fooled into thinking that they're already on 5G. Dave, what do you think?
Yeah, first off, when AT&T announced that we have 5Geeeee, and everybody was like, all right, what the heck is 5Geeeee? There is no 5G. 5G is still in its testing stages. And evolution. The E is evolution. So in itself, I think it's a bunch of marketing mumbo jumbo, making people think that this is we got a faster network. We're going to have this great thing. Just more of a reason why I'm no longer an AT&T customer, because of just their marketing tactics by itself right there. But 5G will be here. It will be here, and like you said, 2020 is probably where the next best scenario when it'll be out. By that time, we go under assumption that T-Mobile and Sprint will be merged, because I know those guys are working on 5G a lot quicker than a lot of the other carriers are. But yeah, it's very misleading. I'm very, very, very disappointed in what AT&T did with that.
Okay, Warren.
I'm disappointed because they really should have named it 5G Max. Now that I think about it.
Right.
Get it? 10S Max? Okay. There you go. I think didn't they do it before? AT&T, didn't they do it with 3G?
Yeah, they did it with with 3G. There was
3G.
There was 3G, and then there was 4GC or something along those lines.
Yeah. So it's shady marketing, and again, it's people are blaming Apple or blaming some of the phone companies, but yeah, actually, Apple and Samsung should have probably not even let them change the logo, and I don't know how that happened either, but I guess whatever. Yeah.
Well, I think it's more along the lines of they send out a carrier update, which is supposed to, and it affects the carrier settings on your phone. And chances are for phones that were capable of using 4G LTE enhanced, which is this new standard, and it's not 5G. It is faster. It is like twice as fast. So, there is that. But the other thing is not all of Apple's phones can use this new standard. I think I know that the 8 cannot. The 10 and the 10S Max and the 10R, I believe, are the only phones that Apple has that will allow you to pick up on this new standard.
Right,
Dave, did we lose you?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
No. He's in deep thought.
It looked like you were frozen for a minute. It was like, damn, we lost Dave.
Yeah. If anything, it should have been called 4. I would have been happier if they called it 4Geeeee. Because the 5
don't mislead.
The 5G is sneaky.
It is.
4Geeeee would not be as sneaky. It would be almost like the in between step. So, yeah, it's sneaky.
Okay, well that's basically all I've got for this evening. Do you guys have anything that you want to talk about?
It's been a pretty slow news week.
It has. Yeah. It really has. Kind of disappointing.
No, it's good. Last week was crazy. This week's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going. I don't know if I told you guys this. I'm going down to Florida next month, and I'm going to see a Alliance of American football game in Orlando.
Nice. We're so excited about that league.
I am. And here's the thing. I love football. I love American football. However, watching it on TV with teams that I don't really give a crap about is not like one of my things. Yeah. I love live football. I love going to a football game. So I will go to Orlando and I will see the Orlando Apollos. Who the hell came up with that stupid name? The Orlando Apollos play the Arizona. I think they're the Arizona Hotshots or something like that. And I'll have fun. And then next year, the XFL fires up again. And there's going to be a local team here in D.C., and they're not playing at RFK, and they're not playing at the Redskins Stadium. They're playing at Audi Field, which is where the DC United, the Major League Soccer team plays. And it makes, part of the problem with these leagues, with these new, actually any league, is that they book themselves into these large, 70 to 100,000 seat stadiums. And I know this has absolutely nothing to do with anything, but I'm on this now. I'm ranting. And they get 15 to 20,000 people, and the place looks empty. There's still a good crowd there, especially considering that it's not, the NFL and it's not Major League Baseball or NBA or whatever. And it's still a good crowd, but the place looks empty. So if you're in a stadium that has 20 to 40,000 seats and you get 15 to 20, well, then it looks like the place is filled up a bit. So I think that the XFL has been kind of smart in making sure that nearly all of their teams will be in smaller stadiums. And I don't know, I've never heard of most of the stadiums that the AAF are going to be playing in. But I know that the Orlando team will be in the, I think it's University of Central Florida's football stadium there in Orlando. So, and I don't know how big that stadium is. So, I mean, we'll see how this new league does it. It is associated with the NFL. So it's going to be kind of like the NBA's G League, you know, the feeder league that the NBA has. This is going to be kind of like the feeder league for the NFL. So a lot of the guys that didn't get drafted or for one reason or another were cut from teams will get a chance to play and get a chance to show their talent. So I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah.
All right.
So, and you both are like, why is he talking about football?
When are you going to Orlando?
It's going to be in like middle of March. March 16th is the game on a Saturday.
Because guess who's going to be in Orlando at the same time?
You?
Really? This is so weird. You were in Ocean City.
We were Belmar, but I have a house there. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we went to that wedding. Not you and I, but my wife and I went to a wedding.
Together. I have a house.
And it was fabulous. It was so fabulous.
So we're doing Disney. We're doing Disney with my in-laws. There's going to be 16 of us. Yeah. It's going to be.
So how long are you going to be there?
You won't be seeing Guy.
No, I mean, well, I'll be like dead because when we do Disney, my wife is like a Disney like maven, and she.
Come on, we gotta go. Let's go. We gotta go do this.
It's crazy.
Well, the game is at 8 as it is currently scheduled for 8 p.m.
Okay.
So if you want to go, there's I'll have some of the larger people of my family there. I mean, you've met me. I'm not going to be the largest Searle that's going to be there. Chances are my two nephews who are like 6, 7, they'll be there, and at least one of their sons who's like 6, 8 will also be there.
There's 16 of us. I it's going to be hard. But if you want to go on Space Mountain with us, let me know, and we'll get you on the line, and we'll take a picture of us going down and go. Wee!
There's a lot of those rides that not that I don't want to ride them, but I can't ride them because of the different restraint systems that they have now.
You're too tall.
I'm too tall, and sometimes too big.
Yeah.
Wide.
Can you? Is there a lawsuit for this?
If there is,
you should get on that.
Yeah, it's a class action law. You're discriminating against big and lardy people, so that's just not right.
You need a YouTube video that's like this. I tried to go on Space Mountain.
I wanted to go on Space Mountain, and they wouldn't let me.
Disney has a horrible secret, and we need you to know about this.
Okay. We are going to jump out of this. David, if people wanted to get a hold of you, let's see, make sure I get your camera up here. There you are. And turn this one off. And let's talk about the stuff that you do.
Yes, intouchwithios.com. In Touch with iOS is my podcast. I was going to have Warren on this past week, but we had a little bit of a scheduling conflict, so we got it scheduled for next week. So we're going to do an episode. So you'll, guys, make sure you subscribe so you can listen to our crazy antics like we do here. And I also do a podcast with my friend Steve, Off the Charts Horse Racing at offthechartsHorseRacing.com. Both you can find on the iTunes store and any of your favorite podcatchers, as well as I am a president of the Apple user group in Chicago, suburban Chicago Apple users. We got a meeting this week coming up, and actually Allison Sheridan's coming to talk to us about some.
Oh, nice! Is that going to be live or virtual?
It will be virtual with her. Yes.
Okay.
But we'll have our on-site folks there, of course. But she's going to be talking about mind mapping. If you remember, she talked about that at MacStock.
Yeah.
So
you should have me at one of those meetings virtually. I'll talk about podcasting and microphones, mostly microphones.
I just don't know if anybody depends. The interest of our group. I don't know. I would
like,
love to have you.
Why,
you know that.
Why did you bring him here? Why is he here? I don't understand.
So that's all I do. And then of course I'm on the Twitters at DaveG65.
Right, Warren.
Oh, me. If you could find Guy, then you could probably find me. We're always together, it seems. So, just find Guy, and then Guy will tell me to call you.
Okay.
Facebook.
You can find Facebook. Mac to the Future. You can help support some of the things that I do, which includes the mymac.com podcast and the Mac to the Future livecast and Guy's Daily Drive, which I haven't done in a while and I need to get back to. So you can help support all that by going to coffee.com, looking for Mac Parrot, patreon.com, looking for Mac Parrot, and that would be wonderful. I would really, really appreciate it to help offset some of the costs of doing all this crazy stuff. You can reach me, Guy, at mymac.com. I can be found on the Twitters. I am Mac Parrot or Vert Shark. And you can find a lot of the stuff that I do over at mymac.com and of course at my new website, vertshark.com. And that's gonna about do it for this evening. So thank you all so very, very much for joining us tonight. I'm sorry that I ranted so long about American football, but it's a passion of mine. And Dave and Warren, thank you so much for being on and putting up with me yet again. That is appreciated.
Yes.
This is where you guys say something.
Good night, Warren.
Good night, Dave.
Okay. Good night,
thanks,
Guy.
Thanks, Guy. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Bye.